my channel. This week we are going to be making a super fun DIY project. We're going to be doing a blanket ladder, and it's only going to take a couple pieces of wood to be able to make this. It's a very inexpensive project. You can do this for $10 to $15. We're going to jump right into it, and we're going to start marking out our wood for our blanket ladder. Alright, so this is the wood that we're going to be using. I have 3 pieces. One of them is shorter because it's a scrap piece that we're going to be using. We're going to cut one of them down to the height of the scrap piece, and we'll use the other ones for the rungs on the ladder. I will also be filling these holes on mine, which is not something you'll have to do because I'm using a scrap piece, but if you buy new wood then you won't have that problem. So I will actually be making this blanket ladder for a friend of mine. She requested that I make one for her, and so I'm going to be doing a couple of things to mine that are going to make it really sturdy and really safe because she does have a young daughter, and so I want to make sure that it's not going to slide or fall when it's in her home. Let's start by cutting our wood and we'll mark it out and then we can go from there. Alright guys, so this week we're going to be partnering with a company called Garvee, and they have a lot of different products, but the one that I'm going to be working with is a pop-up canopy. I'm super excited about this because I often have to work outside. Because we live in Florida, it's super hot, super muggy, the sun is really intense, and I'm pretty fair-skinned, so I get burnt fairly easily. And we also have a ton of mosquitoes, which makes it really difficult to work out here. This pop-up tent is 13 by 13, so it's a square shape. The best part about it is that you can pop it up and down really easily. It's really easy to move around, so you can change locations or take it with you if you want. And it also has UV protection in the roof of the canopy, and it has roll down mosquito netting, which I'm super excited about because I won't have to douse myself in bug spray before coming out here. My plan for this for today is to put it up right in this space so that I'm able to use it as a little mini workshop, and this just makes it a lot more convenient for me because it's easier for me to film out here. I have more space to move around than in the garage, and what I'm going to be doing is kind of messy, so it's easier for me to do it outside. We're going to put this up, and this is something that I will use in a lot of different ways. I'll use it as a mini workshop here, but it's also really great to take to the beach, which we often do for a little sunshade area or a place to eat. Another way that we're going to often use this is when we go camping, because we do go camping quite a lot and we don't have any kind of canopy to use when we go camping. That's something I'm really excited about for when we're camping and we want to be outside of our tent, still have shade. This is going to be perfect for that. And you could also use this as just a permanent covered patio area. It does have ways to secure it to the ground, so it comes with stakes and sandbags, so you can make it a little bit more permanent if you want to, or if it's just like a windy day and you want it to be attached better, that's a great way to do it. So something else I'm going to be experimenting with this canopy is seeing if it can fit in this back patio portion that we have that you guys have actually never seen because it needs to be redone. We need to redo that area, we need to redo the decking, and it has kind of a gazebo situation, but there's no roof on the gazebo. So I'm curious to see if this is large enough to fit over the gazebo to give us shade and mosquito netting, and we could leave it up pretty much permanently and then just take it down when we want to take it camping or to the beach or something like that. I'm going to be trying this out in a few different ways over time, but today we're going to be using it as a workshop, and I'm definitely excited to get this up because I've already had multiple bugs try to get me while I'm out here. This canopy weighs about 57 pounds, but honestly you would never know it because it does come in this packaging and it's really secure and sturdy, and it comes on wheels, so it's really easy to move around. So all you have to do is tilt it and then you wheel it with you. I got this out of the shipping container by myself and moved it out here. It was no problem at all. It was really easy to move. And it's also designed to be able to just stay upright like this on its own when you're not wheeling it around. So let's go ahead and take it out of the packaging. I will probably have Matt help me put it up just because it is 13 feet by 13 feet, so it's quite large, but we'll see how difficult it is and if it's possible for you to do on your own. It's supposed to be pretty easy to put up. Let's try it out and see. Alright, so we got our canopy all up. It was pretty simple. I would say that it probably took about 20 minutes, right? 30?
30 for the first.
Like maybe 20 to 30 minutes, but we were also following the directions and had never done it before, so I think probably next time we do it, it would take more like 15 to 20 to do it. You could do it on your own. I think it would be much easier to have a second person, but it is possible. Like if you have no one to help you, you could definitely do it. This is the first height level out of 3, and this is about a 5'7" clearance. The top level is probably about like 6.5 foot clearance, so it's got a good amount of height, and that's just talking about like going under these bars right here so that you don't hit your head. But as far as like the peak of it, this is probably a good like 9 feet right now at the lowest level, so definitely a ton of space. I really like the mosquito netting. You have 4 doors, so each wall has a door, and it goes all the way to the floor, even at the highest setting, so you are totally going to be covered with bugs not getting in. And they did a really good job of making sure that everything was sealed up nice so that bugs really have a difficult time getting in. And I can attest to the fact that it is significantly cooler inside of this tent. Matt and I both broke a sweat putting this up just because of the Florida heat, not because of difficulty, just it's hot outside. Coming under this tent, there's an immediate difference in how hot it is with the shade and the UV protection. So I'm really loving this. We're talking about moving this into our driveway later on to have as a workout station and a permanent workshop area, because obviously I don't want to leave it here and block the view of our backyard, but I would like to have it up to be able to work in here, and we work out in our garage, so being able to just go out and have another space to work out in while we're working out here would be really nice. So I think that's what we will do later on, is move this over to our driveway, because our driveway is super long and fenced in. You would only see it if you're in our yard. The other thing that we were thinking is that we could attach some fans to the corners with solar panels and have fans that go in here and cool the space down a lot. What I'm going to do for today to work on our project is I have our camping table. This is the table that we take when we go camping, and so I'm going to open this up as a workbench, probably put something over it because we're going to be staining at some point, and then we can work in here on that. We'll be able to build our blanket ladder in the shade outside without getting by mosquitoes. That will be super nice. I'll put the link in the description box for you guys. This is the 13 by 13 canopy with mosquito netting in the color green. So if you're interested in getting one that is the same size and has the mosquito netting, that's what I got. So I'll link what I got and just to their main webpage for you guys so that you can check it out. I'm going to go ahead and set up our camping table so that we can work on our blanket ladder. Okay, so let's start making our blanket ladder, and I want to start by assembling it all, and then we'll go back in and sand it and stain it and patch up any holes, that sort of thing. So I'm going to be using my pocket hole maker, and I actually got a new one that got me it for Christmas. I have Hawad Professional Pocket Hole Jig System. I'm excited about this because the one that I had before was just one being placed on it, so a lot of times I wasn't super accurate with it, but this one will be much easier. So I was just going through the directions and figuring out how to set it all up, and I think I have it good to go. So we're going to give it a go, and I'm going to do 2 pocket holes for each of the rungs of the ladder so that we can attach it to the sides. We'll also wood glue them, and then we can plug the pocket holes with these little wood pocket hole fillers, and that way it'll be super clean and seamless. Let's try it and see what happens. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Typically what you would do is you would attach this to your actual workbench, but because mine is a plastic workbench, I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to have to hold it steady. We'll see how our pocket holes go. I got a little nervous because I heard like a crunchy sound, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope the wood isn't splitting, but we're good, and we should be good to attach this to our side pieces of our ladder. So I'm going to do the same exact process for all of the rungs of my ladder, and you just want to make sure that you put your pocket holes on the same side of the piece of wood so that you don't have one side showing and one side not, and then once I have all these done, we'll go back and attach them. So now that I have all of my pocket holes done on the rungs of the ladder, I want to go back and patch up this one right here. So this is a piece that I already had that I used for something else just temporarily, so it has screw holes in it. I want to fill those and make this like new so that we can reuse this piece of wood but have it still low. We're going to fill it with this product right here, and I used this when I did our bookcases in the dining room library. This is Minwax High Performance Wood Filler. It's essentially like a Bondo, so you'll mix this together with this little activator in here, and then you have 15 minutes to use what you mixed, and it's super strong. It dries really fast, and it is paintable, stainable, all that kind of stuff. And it's for interior and exterior use, so it's a really good one. It's definitely way better than a wood filler. I used both for the library project, and this one like way outperformed the other one. So let's go ahead and open this and mix it up, and once we fill all these, we'll let them dry while we sand all the other pieces, and then we can go back in and sand those before we attach it all. So it looks like this. It kind of just looks like wood filler in here. It's very stinky, so definitely do it in a well-ventilated area or have like some fans going, and a little bit goes a long way. So I'm gonna put, that's probably more than enough, I'm gonna put like that much in there. And then you literally just need the tiniest bit of the activator, like that. That's like enough. And then you just mix it up so that the activator is all blended in, and you're good to go. You can just spread it onto whatever holes you have, and it'll completely repair them. Let's go ahead and do that for this piece.
Put your lips on mine. I love it when we hide in the pale blue sky, floating on clouds.
Alright, so I got everything sanded, and we got our wood filler sanded down as well. You can see right here it's barely noticeable. And I'm fully covered in sawdust and things like that right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our ladder together. So I am going to grab a measuring tape, and we're gonna measure out where we want the rungs of our ladder to go. We have 5 rungs that we're gonna be using, and this is a 6-foot ladder. And then we will just use our pocket hole drill bit, some screws, and pocket hole covers to screw the ladder together. And I also grabbed some wood glue to glue the pocket hole covers in, and also to glue the rungs of the ladder to the sides just for extra stability. Alright, so because the posts of our ladder are 72 inches, I think I'm going to put each of the rungs at about 14 inches. That will make them evenly spaced. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them out, and I'm just going to start at the bottom, mark it 14 on both sides, and do that 5 times, and then we'll know where we need to drill in our pocket holes to attach the pieces of the ladder.
Do you feel the winds are turning round? 'Cause what goes up must always come back down. But I'll be safe in your arms, like the light in the day never part. I'm looking down the line, with you by my side I'll be fine.
Okay, so we got all of the pocket hole covers in and everything wood glued and attached, and we're gonna let this dry overnight so the wood glue is super dry and ready to go. And then tomorrow we'll come back in and sand any extra wood glue that needs to be sanded off, stain it, and seal it. And then the last thing that we'll do is add on some little decorative brass elements, and they also serve as a functional piece because they're gonna help to give the ladder extra support and stability. So I got these little brass corner pieces off of Amazon. They're not real brass, they're like imitation, but they will give it that look, which I think will be really pretty. And they come in a pretty large pack as well. So these are going to go on the bottom and the top of each of the rungs of the ladder, just to give it something special and something extra that makes it a little bit different than just a plain wood ladder. And then we will be pretty much done with our blanket ladder. So we're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back tomorrow. Okay, so our blanket ladder is all dry. I sanded down all of the extra wood glue, any of the pieces that were like sticking out at all. And so what we're going to do now is stain the entire blanket ladder, and then we'll let that dry and we'll be able to seal it and add our finishing touches. I'm going to be using this stain that I already had on hand. It's in the color English Chestnut, and this is a color that I know will work well in my friend's home because this is, again, going to be something that I'm making for a friend who asked me to make a blanket ladder for them, so I want to make sure that it fits their space. I'm going to be using English Chestnut, and this is a Minwax stain. This is a regular semi-transparent stain, so we're just going to wipe it on and let it soak, and in a couple of hours it'll be dry. Once we get both sides stained, then after about 4 hours we can go back and put the sealant on. I'm going to put some gloves on because I don't want to completely stain my hands. And by the way, this canopy has really saved me, not only from the heat, but also because a giant snake tried to get into here yesterday when I was working on the ladder, and I am terrified of snakes, so I was like screaming, so scared, and it tried to literally slither into the tent, but the mosquito mesh kept it out, so I was very lucky because I immediately panicked and didn't know where to go, even though there's doors everywhere. So it's definitely doing a good job. I mean, like at the lower level, it has enough on the floor that the snake couldn't figure out how to get in. So super, super happy I had that shut because I would have freaked out. As usual, I don't know where my stirring stick is, probably threw it away, so I'm going to use this random stick from the yard to stir it up. And sorry if you can hear like a chain sound. That's the zipper dragging on the floor from the mosquito net because it's a little bit windy out. So I'm just going to set my little stick over here. I have this little cotton cloth that I'm going to be using. This is just like one that I got in a pack off Amazon, and it's lint free, so it's not going to leave lint behind on the ladder. And I'm just going to dip it in just a little bit and then spread it across the blanket ladder, and we'll just do that for the whole thing.
Come back down to earth. It's just as good as up there. Gonna keep you near, 'cause you're all I need, my dear. Do you feel the winds are turning round? 'Cause what goes up must always come back down. But I'll be safe in your
Alright guys, so here's our ladder. I went ahead and put a sealant on it, and I used a polyurethane sealant. That's just my preferred type. I use it for all of my projects, and so now it's nice and sealed up, and it has a good coating so that you could clean it and the stain won't come off, and it gives it a little bit of a shine but not too much. So it's looking really good. So we're gonna do the finishing touches. I want to put these little grippy feet on the bottom like this, and these ones are in circles, so we are gonna have to cut them down so that they fit our square-shaped ladder. This is of course something that's optional, but this is something that I want to do because the friend that I'm making this for has a young daughter, and so I want to do as much as I can to make sure that the ladder isn't going to slide around, fall on her if she were to mess with the ladder. I'm going to be sending some L brackets with her if she wants to attach it to the wall at her apartment just to make it extra secure. We're going to add these on, and then we're also going to be adding on these little decorative brass style plates to the top and the bottom of every rung on the ladder, and then we'll be all done, and we'll decorate with it here, but obviously it is going to be going to a friend of mine, so it'll be going in her house, but I'll decorate it here so that you guys can see what it would look like. So let's go ahead and start by adding on our little grippy feet, and I just got these at the Ace by my house, and these are self-adhesive anti-skid pads. They come in a set of 4, and I'm going to use the sticky backing on this, but I also want to stick in a couple of little tiny nails just to make sure they don't peel off over time. So I'll probably just put one tiny nail in each of them to hold them in place. We'll just peel this little back off and then stick this on, and then I'm just going to hammer in this little tiny nail. And now it won't peel off. And then we'll go ahead and do the other side. Stick this on, and of course we're going to be doing this on the flat side, not the side that we cut at an angle. And it's in. Alright, so let's go ahead and just trim up the excess. Just like that. Perfect. So here they are now cut down to size so it won't slide around. Alright, so let's go ahead and add these little brackets on now. I'm going to put them below and above each of the rungs on our ladder.
like the light in the day never part. I'm looking down the line. With you by my side, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be
week's video. I hope that you enjoyed making a DIY blanket ladder with me. I think it turned out so beautifully. It has such a pretty natural finish to it, and it's just a really nice organic piece to add to a space that also has a ton of function, and it's a very inexpensive DIY to do, which is really nice because blanket ladders in stores can be pretty expensive. So this is a great way to get the same look on a budget, not have to have a lot of tools or experience to be able to do it. And don't forget, if you're interested in checking out Garvee for their canopies or outdoor furniture, fire pits, all of the things, then make sure to check out the link in my description box. Leave me a comment letting me know what you think of this week's DIY and if you're going to give it a try yourself. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can join our DIY community and get to see our weekly makeovers and projects. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next Sunday.